Vinyl Tag. Vinyl Tag 2020, Quarantine Edition. I was inspired by Dylan from Noble Records. Pretty cool guy. Go check out his YouTube channel. Vinyl Tag is a little game a lot of people play online in the vinyl community. This is the first time I've done it or actually even heard of it. Vinyl Tag is basically a list of questions, and you go through your collection, you answer them, and get to talk a little about your records and let people know a little bit about you. So I'm going to do this. Question number one. I'm going to be looking at them up here on my monitor so I can remember them and read you my answers. So, all right, let's get started. Favorite record from your home state or city? Well, I am choosing Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I am going with Black Moth Super Rainbow. This record is their newest one. It's called Panic Blooms. It's an experimental electronic project. All the vocals are vocoder, and it's really fun stuff. Do not listen to Black Moth Super Rainbow if you're on any sort of mind-altering things, because things might get weird. Question two, an album you highly recommend. I highly recommend The Lonesome Crowded West by Modest Mouse. I love Modest Mouse, especially during this era. This is just a fantastic album, and actually there was a point years and years and years ago. I live in a region that gets a lot of snow very, very quickly out of nowhere. So I was driving home late one night and I was on the interstate, and all of a sudden we got boom, you get dumped on with snow. Can hardly see where you're going. If I'm gonna die right now on this road because of the conditions, then what music do I want to die listening to? And I had this CD with me at the time, and I put it in. I'm like, I want to die listening to The Lonesome Crowded West. This is an awesome album. Numero tres, tip for a beginner. Oh, this doesn't involve a record. That makes sense. My tip for a beginner. Take the time to clean your records. It's a huge pain. It does take time, but it's very, very important. Your records will sound so much better. Your records will last a lot longer. Your stylists will thank you. All in all, it's just a good thing to get in the habit of doing. Question four, first record that got you into deeper music. One that really got me into a huge trajectory when it came to changing the kind of music that I explored was Fish, A Picture of Nectar. At this point, I was already a fan of Fish, and then I'd only listened to Hoist and maybe a few other random things, but then listen to this one, and boy, this is what got me into the whole jam band genre, because it was at this time I also started getting into their live stuff and then checking out other bands that were in that vein, and this is an amazing, amazing album. Picture of Nectar is probably my favorite Fish album. Number five, an obscure record people may not know about. This is a record I got at the thrift store. Again, another great thrift find. This is by a band called Return to Forever, and it's called Romantic Warrior. I picked it up because it was 99 cents, and mainly for the cover. That is awesome. And then on the back, I mean, this is just... So I thought, this is very 70s. I thought this might be a disco album, but disco with this, it's got to be awesome. And it turned out to be fantastic. This is jazz, fusion, prog, amazing. Number six, a group who you collect all of their albums, or you try to. Right now I'm on a mission to collect Unfreeze McGee albums. I love Unfreeze McGee. And right here, just to show you, I have, it was their latest live release in the Hall of Fame series. This is Hall of Fame 2018. And it's so good. It's so good. Listen to this, especially, this is their only release that I believe that they have Wizard Burial Ground on. Wizard Burial Ground is one heck of an amazing juggernaut of a song. So yeah, but Unfreeze McGee, I'm getting as much of theirs as I can. Seven, a band whose second album is better than their first. Oh, controversial. I'm going to say Primus. I'm going to say that Sailing the Seas of Cheese is better than Frizzle Fry. Not to say that Frizzle Fry isn't awesome, but Sailing the Seas of Cheese, Les busted out the 6-string bass. He brought back Tommy the Cat with 6-string. And then there's Jerry Was a Race Car Driver, American Life. I mean, so many good songs on this. So yeah, Primus. Number 8, show and tell, a whack-a-mole, a random pick. So what I did here, because I sort of know physically where generally stuff is, so I might, just reaching, I'll sort of generally know what I'm getting. I went on to Discogs, I brought up my collection, and then I picked a number between 1 and whatever the number was of records that I have, and then I'm going to correspond that with what comes up in my Discogs database in my collection. So I haven't looked yet. It's number 128 in my collection, so I'm going to go there right now, and I'm going to pick that out and talk about it. Oh, really? I'm going to go get it. Ta-da! Boxcar Willie. King of the Road. I got this in a lot, and I couldn't not keep it. I mean, it's Boxcar Willie. It's, is this As Seen on TV? Yeah, you've heard them on TV. Oh, Boxcar Willie, I mean, come on. I have not listened to this yet. Number 9, what album have you listened to most in your life? Probably Anthrax, The Persistence of Time. I've listened to the record a bunch of times, but this is my favorite Anthrax album. I had this on cassette. When I was in junior high school, I listened to this almost, probably, 4 out of 5 days on the bus ride to and from school. I was listening to this. We're at number 10, halfway through. Show an album that has a crazy story. Now, I don't have a crazy story to tell about how I got this album, but there's a crazy story about this album. This is Jim Sullivan, UFO. Now, it's a very folksy album, very, very cool. A lot of songs about UFOs and seeing lights in the sky and being taken away and stuff like that. Right after that, he just went driving in his car one night into the middle of the desert, and no one's seen him since. They found his car, never found him. Spooky. I love the story behind this, and it's a really, really great album to listen to. Number 11, my collecting pet peeves. Oh boy, cleaning records takes so long, pain in the butt. I know you got to do it, and it is worth it, but man, I hate doing that. Locating what pressings I have on Discogs. Also, just keeping track of what I have in general. Gets way out of hand, and man, you got records all over the place. You're buried. Number 12, an album or genre people would be surprised that I like. I don't know if people are going to be surprised or really anything, but I have 2 records for this just to show sort of the span. I love rap, hip-hop. There are big chunks of it that I don't like, but man, 80s and 90s, and a lot of new stuff coming out right now. There's some quality stuff. So yeah, I would love rap. 13, a record from the year you were born. Boy, when I looked this up, there are a ton of really good albums that came out in 1977. I had a lot to pick from. I had 5 very notable ones that I was sort of picking from in my collection. I'm going to show them here on the screen somewhere, so I had to pick one of these 5. Which one did I pick? I picked Pink Floyd, Animals. Oh, really can't say much more than anybody hasn't already said about this. Listen to it. 14, show a 10-inch record and or share your opinion on 10-inch records. I don't mind them. This is a cool one. A split 10-inch by Mogwai and Bardo Pond. It's signed by Dominic from Mogwai. I bought this at their live show. Interesting story about that. I'll tell it very quickly. We were going to see Mogwai, probably early 2000s. We go to the show in this club in Pittsburgh that's not there anymore called Laga. And it was really, really great. Well, the band had run into some issues with getting all their merch to the show on time. So they only had records, but they had no t-shirts. So they went down the street to some store. They bought a ton of blank white t-shirts and a bunch of colored Sharpies, and they started drawing their logo on these shirts and signing them all, and then that was their merch for that show. They spent hours beforehand making those shirts, and I think I still have mine somewhere around here somewhere. I'm gonna have to look for that. I bought 2 or 3 records that day at the show, and this was one of them. 15, show an interesting fact about an album or song. Fact: the Melvins album Houdini was produced by Kurt Cobain. King Buzzo, the guitarist and singer for the Melvins, was not happy with all that Kurt did in his production role because Buzz was expecting him to have more of a role in the creative process, according to what I've heard Buzz say in some interviews. And he said that basically Kurt just sat back and twisted knobs and flicked some switches, and basically that was all his involvement was. 16, show an album with an animal on the cover. I'm going to show you a zebra. For Hum, you'd prefer an astronaut. Oh, this album really, really gets me in the nostalgia area. I love this. Oh man, I can remember hearing Stars on the radio and thinking, man, that song really rocks. Who is this? And I like this, and I like their second album as well. But Hum, man, oh, so good. 17 show an album with crazy artwork. Crazy. Lords of Acid, man. Think you're on acid. Or whatever. This is 12-inch single for Take Control. But actually, I bought it because I knew the B-side. Let's Get High. I used to listen to that song all the time back in the day. 18 show, a really good album that you can find for cheap. Go and pick up John Denver's greatest hits for like $1. I mean, there's just great songs on here. Leaving on a Jet Plane, Take Me Home, Country Roads. I mean, every song on here is good. Everybody loves John Denver. Show an album with an acquired taste for number 19. And here I have the Mahavishnu Orchestra, Birds of Fire. This one is as prog gets in the 70s. Whew. John McLaughlin, man, just an outrageous guitarist. It takes some getting used to if you're not necessarily a prog fan, but if you know what you're in for, you were in for a lot, and I listen to this all the time. Question number 20, show your most recent find. This is cool. I haven't even slipped it out of the cover yet. This is the Beach Boys. Wow, great concert. I don't even know anything about it yet. I'm interested to find out more about this and to listen to it. I love the Beach Boys. So there's my vinyl tag. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.